Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Firstly, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who already supported me here on YouTube, and starting a YouTube channel was something that I was putting off for ages. I love to do some studio vlogs, reviews of my favourite materials, more time lapses, share my art business advice and just my general life as an illustrator. So you definitely see a lot more videos like that in the future. And a special thank you goes to my patrons who allowed me to save up for my equipment, such as my camera, my lighting, my tripods. You guys are honestly the best. Thank you so much for supporting me throughout all the months. So in today's video I wanted to go through my portrait study sketchbook, and I use this sketchbook to practice my skills through doing studies. It's where I mainly practice portraits by drawing people from references, and I draw them different angles to get a better understanding of the different shapes that build up the face. I also practice different facial features such as the noses that you can see here. This just helps me to improve my understanding of like every aspect of creating a portrait. So just a disclaimer, all the drawings that I was seeing here are not like very creative, they're just studies that help me improve my skills. I have separate sketchbooks where I sketch thumbnails for my paintings, another one for anatomy where I do studies from my favourite anatomy books and online resources. I'll put all the ones that I use in the description, so make sure to check that out. I also often work on loose A4 sheets. I can quickly show you guys. So yeah, I work on like A4 loose sheets, which are my favourite actually. I like working in the sketchbook, but I just find it a lot cleaner to work on A4 loose sheets, and I'll put the paper that I use in the description as well. So that one's not finished. Okay, this one and that one for example. I also like to work in Moleskine sketchbooks, and the paper quality is absolutely amazing. It's probably my favourite. It's very smooth and pencil just glides on it. I also use the Prismacolor Color Erase pencils in here, as you can see, but the sketchbook itself is really expensive, so I don't work in Moleskines as often, just because I sometimes feel pressured working in it, because I know the sketchbook is expensive. This sketchbook is really cheap, and it's the Easynote A4 Sketchbook, and you get 40 sheets and it's 170 GSM. So the paper is actually really smooth. I wouldn't say it's as smooth as the Moleskine. The Moleskine paper is definitely smoother and it's slightly thicker, but yeah, it's really expensive. So this sketchbook is better if you want to do slightly quicker and less rendered drawings. I personally don't like decorating my sketchbooks just because I'm very minimal when it comes to them, and I don't like sticking washi tapes, for example, or just gluing in things to make it pretty. My sketchbook for thumbnails has sketches that look like they've been drawn by a 2-year-old. Like, you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference. It's good to keep a sketchbook that you don't share to anyone else, so you don't share it to your family, to your friends. It's just for you, so you don't feel pressured to make good drawings in it. That's why I have sketchbooks that I definitely won't do a tour of in the future. So the main reason why I started sketching and drawing in the sketchbook is because I was listening to interviews of like the artists I admire, and so many of them said how important it is to sketch and draw. And I didn't sketch or draw for the longest time. I'll just create outlines for my watercolor paintings. And drawing outlines for paintings is not sketching or drawing really, it's just creating outlines. So I've noticed that my understanding of proportions wasn't improving at all, and I felt like I just wasn't developing my skills. I didn't understand much about portraits, even though I, made paintings of them. It's probably the biggest mistake that I've ever done in my art career, like ever. Something I'm going to talk about in a future video. So after listening to those interviews of my favourite artists and then saying how important it is to have good drawing skills before getting into painting, or drawing as much before you start painting, and it's something that I realised after listening to about 10 people say the same thing. So I just told myself, okay, right, I need to get a few sketchbooks, and I finally need to do some studies and learn and develop. And I still can make watercolor paintings like in the meantime. Back then I only did outlines for watercolor paintings, so I didn't draw or sketch in the meantime. If you're that type of person that only paints with watercolors or acrylics or oils and doesn't like draw, only like sketches outlines for the paintings. I just hope that after watching this video I can inspire you guys to sketch and draw as much as possible, because your drawing skills will go to your painting skill anyway, but process of painting is much longer. So for example, you can create 6-10-minute sketches in an hour, but it will take you around an hour or two to create one painting. So in 10 hours you can have 60 sketches done in pencil, but with paint you might have only 5 to 10 paintings in 10 hours. So I'm not saying that quantity is better than quality, but when it comes to practicing and learning, quantity is important too. You can develop it much quicker with drawing and making mistakes and painting fully rendered illustrations. My mindset has completely changed since, and that's why I keep so many sketchbooks right now, and I try to fill them in and learn as much from them, make mistakes and use references and make studies. So yeah, it's really important to keep a sketchbook, and I can't recommend it enough. This particular sketchbook took me a couple of months to fill up because I was also working on like different client commissions and watercolor paintings. I also worked on my other sketchbooks and so on, but I continually share these on my Patreon. I have a sketchbook tier where I share different sketches every month, and I also have different rewards and tiers set up there, so if you're interested in checking that out then please do. Okay, so I'm so sorry for rambling on for such a long time. I just wanted to mention all the things in one video just so you guys are aware of everything I wanted to say before I start flipping through the sketchbook. So okay, let's begin. So this is the first page, and as you can see I also really like doing close-up studies of different facial features. So here I drew some noses, and I remember at this point I was really struggling with drawing noses, so I made sure to practice by drawing them in like different angles. And these are just some portrait studies from references, and I stylized them a bit. So yeah, more nose studies here and some lip studies. I really like doing sketches like this, just because I can sort of imagine the rest of the face in my head. So I like drawing just the eyes and nose. I really struggled with this angle. I don't know how to draw the neck and the jaw area when the head is like looking up. And yeah, I can still see that it's off, like there's something really off about it. So you know, I definitely need more practice. Here I practice a different hairstyle, and I love adding like all the different textures to it. I did some eye studies and again a few lips. The lips are probably one of my favourite features to draw and paint, and I really like drawing plump lips, or like painting plump lips, just because you can add so much like textures to it, and I love shaping them as well. So here I used different male model references, and I just did like close-ups of the eyes, and I made sure to draw them in different angles so I could just understand like all the different shapes of the eyes, or like yeah, how to like shape the eyes when they look in different angles. So I found this exercise really helpful, and yeah. So more portrait studies, and I'm not really happy with how these turned out, and that one actually. I think I was probably watching YouTube videos and not paying attention to the reference I was looking at. So yeah, make sure you pay attention to your reference as much as possible and keep looking at it while you draw, because then you look at your drawing again and it looks really off. So yeah, I'm not happy with this page really. Yeah. Here I was practicing some like wavy hair, and I believe that's Lana Del Rey. Yeah. And again, some lip studies. I just love drawing these. Even though I find them quite easy now, I just love drawing them so much. I find it so relaxing that I continually have them like in my sketchbook, and I don't need to do it, but yeah, I just really enjoy it. And yeah, the hair took quite a while to do, I remember. I really struggle with hair. Like hair is something I absolutely hate drawing and painting, but yeah, I really wanted to exercise things that I don't enjoy in the sketchbook or I'm not comfortable with. Here I drew some guys, and I made sure to use a different male model reference every time, just because I feel like I keep drawing the same guy over and over. I'm not the most masculine looking guy, so yeah, I often draw like feminine guys, and here I try using a Winsor & Newton marker. But yeah, it looked really patchy in the sketchbook, and I had to layer it so much just to get any of the colour out. so I don't recommend the sketchbook for drawing with markers or like Copic markers. Yeah, the Winsor & Newton one looked very, very patchy, so I just wrote nope. Yeah, I didn't like how it looked in the sketchbook. More guys, and yeah, I believe that's the same model as this one, I think. Yeah, must be. But I added more freckles here. Yeah, okay. Let's move on to some girls. Again, just practicing drawing hair. I hate drawing hair, but it's actually a useful exercise because you can really practice your line weight and just keeping a steady hand. So yeah, it's definitely a useful exercise. I just hate doing it, but yeah, it's definitely a useful exercise. Just random studies. I'm not too happy with how she turned out. I really like this. Just some few studies. So I really struggle with this angle. I can get like the neck right, the lips right, and the eyes right, and the nose right. So yeah, I definitely need more practice in drawing people in this sort of angle. I'm really happy with how these girls turned out. I did some makeup to them, and I actually enjoyed drawing the hair. This one was quite simple, so it was quite calming. And yeah, again, I added like different makeup styles to here. I don't know what the makeup really is, it's just quite random. I just added like triangular shapes, so. Here I tried drawing some guys with beards. I was like, I draw too many feminine guys, so I need to draw beards. These got cut off a bit, so I couldn't fit them on the page properly. This one's of Kesha, and she has the most beautiful freckly face, and if you know me, I absolutely love drawing freckles. It doesn't really look like her, I don't think, because I like stylized her face. Yeah, I just had to draw her. Like when she posted the selfie, I just fell in love straight away. These sketches are my favourite model, and her name is Nastya Kusakina. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. I believe she's from Russia. Again, I could be wrong. But yeah, she's got the most stunning face. I absolutely love drawing her. I've painted her loads of times as well in the past. And she's got a very doll-like face. Yeah, I love painting her. I love her features. She doesn't look like the same in all of these sketches because I changed her features quite a bit. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this one turned out. I'm really pleased with the hair and her like facial expression. That's her as well. But again, she looks a lot different than the way I drew her. Here's some portrait studies, but I'm not happy with how they turned out. So here's just some like random studies, and that's of Nastya Kusakina as well. Yeah. Here's some plant studies, and I need to draw plants like a lot more. I really want to incorporate them into my watercolor paintings, but I thought I need like more practice drawing them before painting them, so I just did few like random studies of different plants, and like this is definitely not enough. I need to have like a sketchbook just for like drawing plants, I think, because I really struggle with them. I love having plants in my room, but drawing them is like a completely different story. Just random portrait, and the eyes are off completely. I can tell like right now. I love how these eyes turned out. I really like drawing very pale eyes, and she looks quite mysterious to me. Yeah, I like that one. If you notice, I like drawing the eyes like one is lighter and the other one is darker. But if I paint like watercolor portraits, I paint one eye in a different color to the other. Yeah, it's just like a feature I like. Oh, I was so lazy with the hair in this one. I was so lazy with the hair. I was like, nope. I like her facial expression though, but yeah, I was so lazy with the hair. Just some random things. Some skulls. I probably should have drawn them in a different sketchbook, like the plants as well, but I struggle drawing skulls, but it's such a useful exercise. It actually really helps when drawing like heads and portraits because you get to understand the structure and the form of what's underneath. So drawing skulls is something I need to do way more. I use a 360 anatomy tool that you can like download, and you can like spin the skull and change the direction of the light, so it's a really useful resource. But I really want to get an actual model of a skull, so it will definitely help me a lot more than using like a program, because drawing from life it's so important, but I don't do it. So I'm being a bit of a hypocrite saying this, So I hope you guys enjoyed looking with me through the sketchbook. I'm really sorry for rambling on for so long at the beginning, but I just wanted to say everything before starting flipping through the sketchbook. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you find this video useful. I'll definitely do a lot more sketchbook tours in the future. This was my second one now, so the first one was my watercolor sketchbook that I created when I was like 15, 16, so I didn't think it'll be like very useful. Yeah, I have loads more sketchbooks, so I might do a few more tours. If you want to see more of my sketches, then definitely check out my Patreon, because it's where I post like 70% of my sketches. So you won't see a lot of them on my Instagram or like my Facebook. Yeah, thank you so much guys. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.